know that exposure to superior intelligence activates our threat detection system in the brain. The amygdala lights up when we encounter someone visibly smarter than us, and it's the same response we have to physical threats. It upsets us. I ain't even done. But when I tell you this tweet alone made so much sense about my life. It's not just a figure of speech. When people say that intelligence hurts the ego, it literally triggers pain response, which makes us sensitive. If people feel less intelligent around you, they either avoid you unconsciously, cheapen you to feel better, or try to prove you wrong.
TunaBeats.com.
Hello there. Good afternoon to everyone out there in the wonderful world of ours that we live in today. This video is dedicated to the free thinkers of the world out there. People who think independently, form their own opinions and beliefs based on their own reason and logic. And the title of this video is to be a free thinker, right? Be a free thinker. So, in our society, I'll use politics as an example. We have a government system, the Republican Party, the Independents, and the Democratic Party. And when people go to vote, majority of the time, they go and they vote for the Republican candidate or the Democratic candidate. Essentially voting for the candidate that best suits what they want and desire for the society that they want, or that they would like to shape for what's going to make them happy, right? In terms of their own beliefs, cultural values, traditions, so on and so forth. But you also have a third party called the Independent Party. These are people that don't side with the Republicans or the Democrats, but they register not as a Republican or Democrat, and they vote based on whatever values are going to be best suited for them, and what's going to help them live and thrive in the lifestyle that they want, right? When it comes to people who are free thinkers in our world today, people who are free thinkers oftentimes question narratives, beliefs, traditions, authority, and things that were said and taught to you from a young age, right? And what I like about people who are free thinkers is that these are some of the most intelligent people that you will ever come across in terms of how they speak, but how they break things down analytically and help you to analyze what's really going on from their own lens and perspective. These people oftentimes see the world from a bigger, broader view and perspective than most. So while people are caught up with Republican and Democrat, this team versus that team, my view versus your view, free thinkers are people who tend to look outside of the whole spectrum and beyond the overall outlook of the situation. Why do I like free thinkers? Because free thinkers offer a different perspective from a lens that most people don't tend to see or know coming. People who are free thinkers give a different lens and perspective on things in life and situations in life, bigger and broader than the narrative that is pushed in our media outlets and circuits, right? So oftentimes you get people who come out here and they say, well, I'm on this side when it comes to politics, or I'm on that side, when it comes to politics. But then you have the independents who decide, well, what if both sides aren't what's best for our country? What if voting for an independent, that's running for president is actually better for us, right? And I'm not here to um, argue and debate politics. I'm just giving an example of the free thinkers of our world, and using politics as an example, right? I'm not saying who I vote for or anything like that, because I don't want it to cause any type of chaos, so on and so forth. So that's my little disclaimer, all right? But free thinkers are people that offer a different lens to a situation than what's given to you. In the media, they're pushing certain candidates or certain situations and um, certain stances on a topic or so on and so forth, right? Someone that got shot by the police, and they're angling it, saying that the police officer is wrong and so on and so forth. And the free thinker will step back and say, well, they asked the questions in that situation about what's not being told, right? A lot of times is people today, the masses of people in our society, people are going along with what's being told to them, what's being said to them, and they're not questioning. They're not questioning and getting the meat and potatoes and then finding the gardening salad of it, of what really makes that meal or situation what it truly is, right? So we could ask ourselves 100 questions all day about what's going on in a situation. But the free thinkers are analyzing things from a different lens of perspective and saying, maybe this is the course of action that we should take, instead of just being given this information and being told how it is that we should use it. Because a lot of times when I see media, for example, the media is telling you what to believe, and they're constantly reprogramming it to you over and over and over again so that you believe their story. But the reality of the situation is that as a free thinker, free thinkers tend to be people who step back from the situation and say, is that really the case of what's really going on? Like, the media's feeding me this story, they're feeding me all this information. But what about this person in this situation? Or how did this, come about? Free thinkers are people who tend to gather the information that's not being told, and they question those that are given the information. Oftentimes, people who are free thinkers tend to be the ones that get silenced the most. People who are free thinkers are far more intelligent than you think and that you would know, and it bothers people. It bothers you, or it bothers people who do not want to think for themselves and just be told that you have to grow up with this tradition, these values, this type of culture, and that's your whole life. But a free thinker would say, well, wait a minute, culturally, you want me to believe these different types of beliefs, live this type of lifestyle, eat this type of food, date and marry these types of people. But a free thinker will ask themselves, what is wrong with stepping outside and trying a different culture, living in a different world, living a different view, right? Seeing life from a different lens and different perspective. What is wrong with wanting to do something different, far bigger and far better than what you were shown, right? Free thinkers challenge narratives. They challenge belief systems. You gotta think for yourself when it's, in this situation. When it comes to belief system, beliefs are just that. They are formulated opinions that don't necessarily have facts all the time, but backed by them. Beliefs, without beliefs, without facts, are opinions, right? If you don't believe something based on your own research, factual evidence, and reasoning and logic, then you're not wrong. Society tells you that you have to culturally take in what is being told and what is being taught to you. And this is what I like about people who are free thinkers or the independence of the world, of our society, right? People who tend to stay neutral to the situation because they realize there's flaws on both sides. The Republican Party isn't all that much better than the Democratic Party. One team isn't always better than the other. One race who has issues isn't always a victim versus the other race who has issues. They're not always victims, right? And when I look at our world today and our society, a lot more people should focus more on, or at least develop an idea consciously and subconsciously to start thinking for yourself, right? Start thinking and asking yourself questions that are going to be relatable to the topic at hand. Because whenever you are someone who steps outside of your comfort zone and you challenge narratives, traditions, beliefs, authority, it ruffles feathers. And I'm not saying to do it to ruffle feathers. I'm saying do it for your own protection and to help you out. Because a lot of times what people do is they take information and they run with it as if that's the only way, that's the only lens, that's the only truth to what is being pushed. But in reality, there are also other perspectives that are not being told to you, right? So who's to say that what the news and what the media is putting out is always something that you should believe? Who's to say that the type of tradition that you grew up with is a tradition that makes you happy? I created a video saying that you should do what makes you happy. Break away from the things and people that don't bring you joy. Right? Free thinking people go around other like-minded free thinking people, other empathetic people who can feel and take in the environment for what it is. Free thinkers see the picture for what it is, and they don't change that picture for what it is, or for something different or something better that they want to try to make it out to be. Free thinkers are people that are not afraid to challenge narratives and find truth to the matter of the situation. Free thinking people are oftentimes some of the most smartest people you'll ever come across because they challenge narratives, they challenge beliefs, and they challenge authority sometimes if it comes to it because they want to protect themselves. They know that everything that's put out there is not always the truth, and that society has a very funny way of trying to paint a picture based on what society wants you to see, right? So there's so many different ways that free-thinking people, use their minds, and honestly, I think it's unbelievable when I see people who, they take in what the media is saying. They take in what it is that's being told to them. But then when you go and you open yourself up to other outlets, to other perspectives, and you start thinking for yourself, you start to question, should I run along with the crowd? Or should I be someone that steps back and just goes along and creates my own path? Free thinkers create their own path in life. Go create your own life path. Think for yourself, and don't be afraid to challenge narratives. All right? So that is all for my video today. Thank you for watching my video. If you are new and you liked what I was pretty much sharing today in my video and in my content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my videos and my content. And remember, please do remember, to be informed is not to be woke. Stay conscious, my friends.